Greetings, everyone. We are Team Birds of Prey, and this is our presentation on bringing childcare to Wayne State University's campus. Team members and qualifications. Adora is a computer science and engineering major and a mother of a 3-year-old. I am Asia. I am a social work major. Chantel is a computer science major. Mallory is a pre-radiologic technology major, and Miriam is a biomedical engineering major. The overview of our presentation will be the introduction, the criteria, the research methods and results, including interviews, survey, and secondary research, proposed solutions, evaluation, and then the conclusion. The introduction, we don't have no childcare on Wayne State's campus. We are trying to bring childcare on Wayne State's campus. There is 2 preschool institutions on Wayne State's campus, the College of Education Early Childhood Center and the Mary Palmer Skillman Institute that has children 2.5 to 5 years old. We did find that Wayne State already does has a childcare proposal during our research. And lastly, we found that Wayne State proposed in 2001 a Wayne State 2020 plan that wanted to create childcare, but as time went on, the Wayne State 2020 plan is no longer effective. And now on to Chantel with criteria.
Thank you, Asia. Hi, my name is Chantel Kurtz, and I'll be talking about the criteria. We have 4 different criteria that we want to try and implement. First is ease of implementation. This solution should be easy to bring onto campus. Using resources that are already available will help cut costs and time. Next will be greatest benefit to faculty, staff, and students. We understand that not every member of Wayne State has children. However, we want this not only to benefit parents, but non-student parents as well. Thirdly is reasonable demand on faculty. With an added daycare means we'll need more faculty and staff. Many faculty have hectic schedules from teaching courses, pursuing their research, as well as performing tasks in their department. We want to try and find a solution to have a lower demand on them. And lastly is cost effectiveness. Childcare is expensive. We do not want to have a solution that is excessively high. This proposal will focus on a solution with the lowest possible cost. Next is research method, which includes interviews, surveys, and secondary research. First will be speaking is Mallory.
Thank you, Chantel. So during the research stage of our project, we conducted a fair amount of primary research. We conducted surveys, as Adora is going to speak on, and interviews as well. We met with Catherine Raymond. She's the director of the Wayne State College of Education Early Childhood Center. She runs a successful preschool program in the University Towers Apartments. This facility, however, is not a daycare. It is a preschool. And the program only allows children ages 2.5 to 5 years of age, but it is very limited on space. The program has only 3 groups of children, which is about 15 children per group, which makes it unable to accommodate the demands of Wayne State faculty, staff, and students. It is a first-come, first-served facility, and there's currently a waiting list for the preschool, and it can take anywhere for a few months to a year. It takes children from both Wayne State and the public, so it's unable to house a significant amount of children of Wayne State students. When we discussed the idea of bringing childcare to Wayne State to Ms. Raymond, she stated it would be a great idea. Upon asking her if she sees a demand for childcare at Wayne State, she did say yes. She stated that she gets calls asking for daycare, and she doesn't have a facility to refer questioning parents to. We also spoke with Dr. Loyla Kishli, who is an Associate Dean and Chair of the Wayne State Daycare Implementation Committee. She spoke with the Senate Provost Committee last Monday to state Wayne State's need for daycare. In our interview with her, she stated that she's been advocating for childcare at Wayne State for her 21 years here as faculty. She stated that she'd conducted 3 surveys as a needs assessment, and after presenting the results of her most recent survey, the college is interested in investigating a daycare solution. So the current preschool program served 2.5 to 5-year-olds, and so the Dr. Kishli's committee is focused on infants through 2.5-year-olds and 5-year-olds to 12-year-olds. They would like to include both full-time care and part-time. Their goal is to include care for as short a time as 2 hours to full day care. It is still early on in the works, and they're exploring options on how to proceed. So they looked into 3 possible solutions. One solution was to remodel an existing building to be up to code for a daycare facility. There are specific requirements for that. Another solution is building a new facility to house the daycare. The third solution is to partner with an existing facility in the area. Dr. Keishley and her group contacted 9 child care centers in the area. The Rainbow Child Care Center ended up being a possible partnership. Dr. Keishley's group was exploring the idea of leasing land to them for a cheap rate, and in return, Rainbow would partner with Wayne State to make a child care facility. However, Rainbow Child Care Center is in the process of building a new center, which is going to be on Mack and Brush, that will be finished later this year. An agreement is in the works that involves Rainbow holding a certain number of seats for Wayne State students. However, this is not yet finalized, so there may not be a way of subsidizing care as well, in other words, making care cheaper for students. As well, this facility will be open to the public, so it does not exclusively serve Wayne State students. Ideally, it would favor students from Wayne State, but the agreement is still in the works. A tenet of our proposal focuses on the idea of drop-in care. We asked Dr. Keishley about the feasibility of drop-in care, and she stated that is something that her group is interested in as well. She confirmed what our secondary research has concluded and stated that drop-in care is difficult because of the uncertainty in staffing, as there needs to be a certain staffing requirements for accredited institutions, like the ratio of children to workers. She stated that they looked at other universities, like the University of Michigan. U of M has a partnership with a child care provider, not a center. As it is not a center, it does not have those specific requirements that centers have for education components. She stated that their center or their program was run somewhat like care.com. We also inquired about staffing, as another major tenet of our proposal is a work-study program. She stated that she liked that idea, but Rainbow will handle the staffing of their center. However, she would like to see in the future educational opportunities for Wayne State students. In the future, though, work-study may be an option. If they are able to accomplish drop-in care, students may be able to work in a supervised setting. As our survey established a need for daycare, Dr. Keishley's group did as well. Her survey reached a significantly larger base than ours did. As you can see, they reached 1,848 students, and ours had a smaller base than that. But their survey responses showed, about the same as what ours did. It shows there's a large group of student parents here at Wayne State, and they would be interested in child care. So now Adora is going to inform you of our survey's results. Thank you.
Thank you, Mallory. So the following slides are the results from the survey we created on SurveyMonkey and posted to Academica. As you can see from question 1, we asked about the respondents' age. 45% of respondents were aged 18 to 24, 36% 25 to 34, and 18% were 35 years or older. Question 2 asked what their student status was. 91% were undergrads, with 9% being grad students. Question 3 asked if their children attended daycare or required a babysitter. 91% said yes. Question 4 inquired if they sometimes miss class or assignments due to lack of childcare. 82% said yes. For question 5, we wanted to know if the respondent had heard of the Early Childhood Center preschool program through the College of Education. Over half of the respondents said that they were unaware of the program. Question 6 was a follow-up for question 5. If they were aware of the program, did they use it? Only 14% of them said they actually used the program. Questions 7 and 8 were comment-based questions, with question 7 also being a follow-up for question 6. If they answered no to using the program, but were aware of it, why did they not use it? Most responded that their children were either too young or too old, with a few saying there were no spots available for their child. Question 8 was for those that used the program. Is there anything they would like to see improved? We only received a few responses on this question, but they wanted it to allow children younger than 2.5 and expand to be available for a bigger group of children. Question 9 asked if they would be interested in a child care program with flexible hours that allow children from 6 months to 6 years old. 91% said yes. 1 respondent said no, and 1 did not answer. Question 10 was another comment-based question asking for any additional comments from the respondent. The responses were consistent in that they agreed having childcare on campus would be extremely beneficial. And now on to Asia with information on other colleges.
Thank you, Adora. Now I will talk about childcare programs at the other colleges. The University of Michigan has 3 different childcare facilities on their campus: Healthcare System Children's Center, North Campus Children's Center, and Towsley Children's House. The Healthcare Center opened up in 1991. The center's main focus is for children to learn hands-on experimental activities. The center offers part-time and full-time programs at the needs of infants, toddlers, and preschool children. They also offer a summer program for elementary kids through the Ann Arbor Public Schools. Staff members include teachers and associate teachers with degrees in early childhood education and or child development. The teacher/children ratio for each child depends on the age of the children, which is from 1 to 3 or 1 to 8. The tuition can vary from daily or monthly. It just depends on how many days a week the child stays at the center, and it depends on the age of the child. They also offer morning and afternoon snacks, which is included in tuition, or the family can bring their own lunch. The North Campus Children's Center serves children ages 3 months to 5 years old with full day, half day, and part-time weekly options. The center's main focus is for children to become deep and creative thinkers. The tuition rate they have is a little different because they have the full-time and the part-time hours, so it will go by that. You can pay weekly, or you can pay weekly, daily, a couple days, or even the whole week. The last facility is the Towley's Children's House, has children ranging from 3 months to 5 years old. The concept and curriculum is for the children to have social behavior and to enhance self-concept. The tuition is billed 12 times a year, ranging from 20 to 21 days, and each parent gets a monthly invoice on the 5th of each month, and then they can go back and see the dates that was covered and then the exact date to pay for that month. Now, I will talk about the Child Care Impact Stats at the University of Michigan. They had a Child Impact Report, and they have there's different stats on here. They have 45 countries of origin and families and staff contribute to the global diversity of the programs. They have 2 summer programs, 126 teachers and assistants and staff make a difference every day being at the facility. Then they have 50 tuition grants awarded annually supporting low-income families. Now this is a brief timeline of the child care facilities at the University of Michigan. As you can see, it goes from 2005 all the way to 2015. It's just how they first started in 2005 till now. They have 3 different centers, and they have 83 toddlers, 44 infants, and then they have a summer program with over 100 children. So as you can see, as time went on, their childhood centers became more aware and served more children. Now, Eastern Michigan University Child Care Study Report will focus on the child care needs and times, child care arrangements, and individual costs due to child care problems. The first table is child care needs and times. So the table is basically describing how each level of the grade, so undergrad and graduate, when they would need child care. So most of the time they would need during the day, and then from ages 18 months to 5 years, and then from 5 years and older, they need more after school and before school care, and then even also because a lot of graduate and undergrad students do take evening classes because they are at work most of the time. So this table basically shows the child care needs and times for undergrad and grads in school at Eastern, because this was on Eastern's campus. The next one is the top 3 child care arrangements. So as you can see, the child care arrangements goes from relative child care, before and after school programs, and friend or neighbor, and then the number of providers. So it ranges from the different ages of the groups, and this was all based off of Eastern Michigan University students. Lastly, the individual's cost due to child care problems is basically saying, how does child care affect your life daily? So of course, stress is one. Financial concerns, health problems, and children's behavior problems. Stress is the highest because you stress about trying to go to school, trying to work, trying to find child care, and then financial concerns because you have to work more to provide child care for the children. And now on to Miriam with cost analysis.
Thank you, Aisha. Now we'll be talking about the cost analysis. A little part of my research was to look at just how much the proposed child care program will cost at Wayne State. These costs can be very high to start a new center on campus. This, of course, depends on if we're building a new building or just renovating already a facility that's here on Wayne State's campus. This cost analysis has been adapted from a child care center startup as just an estimation sheet. The center will be licensed for 76 children ages 6 weeks to 6 years old. This estimation sheet came with just child care costs, marketing costs, furniture improvements, administrative expenses, for a one-time fee of $100,000. Of course, we think Wayne State can't afford this as they do have like $500,000 just sitting, not really doing much, and we think it would be a good way to start up the childcare. Next, there's other cost analysis to consider. So renovating a center could be as much as $55,000 or more depending on the space and work required. The cost to build a new building would usually be much higher, almost $130,000. So this sheet still considers more costs considering the building, land costs, construction, landscaping, the parking lot. So the other cost would be to consider this: parking, children's drop-on, staff rooms, the playground, which would be a little more, $50,000 maybe. So I'm thinking maybe $200,000 total, and we think Wayne State does have this money to just start up the childcare. So instead of building a new building, we do think Wayne State can renovate a building that's on campus. It's next to Maccabees and the Welcome Center on Woodward Avenue. It looks kind of small, as we can just see the front part looks like a small house, but it's actually very big. It's very wide. I did go and check it out. It's about 13,304 square foot, which is fairly huge, and we think it's more than enough to fit 76 to 100 students as our trial run to start off with. Next, to just kind of balance off the high cost of just starting up the childcare, the building, renovations. Once this all gets started, we would be charging an hourly fee. This could be paid in advance to the bursar's office. This was adapted from Purdue University Northwest, where they currently charge $225 per hour for the first child as a student fee, $150 in addition for additional children. And then for faculty staff, $250 an hour and $2 for additional children. We think this is fairly affordable for parents with kids that would like to pay an hourly fee for daycare when they need it. And next, I'll just briefly talk about the proposed solutions. So our first solution is to acquire a facility that's already on campus, as I had briefly mentioned. If not, we'd have to consider building a new building, which would cost Wayne State a lot more money. The place we did talk about was next to Maccabees, and that's currently not being used, owned by Wayne State, and can definitely be renovated. Our second solution is to add a child care fee to the student's tuition. This would be in addition to just a small hourly fee. This would, of course, have to pay for, the child care, the food, paying for staff. And we think this would be a good way to balance off the high cost for childcare. Our third solution is to use students as work study. We recommend working with the College of Education and adding a work study program for students to work there. This would be a great way for students to get get a feel for working with children, experience, along with highly qualified staff to run the daycare. Our final solution is to develop a functional daycare with flexible hours, with at least a minimum 2 to 4 hours per day, and if needed, 2 days a week, as this is needed throughout the day for a daycare and not really a preschool, which is 5 hours or more. Next, Chantel will be talking a little bit more about the evaluation criteria to the proposed solutions I briefly mentioned.
Thank you, Miriam. I'll be talking about the evaluation. Our first evaluation was renovating a current building on campus. Currently at Wayne State, there are 2 preschools and several buildings. The Early Childhood Center is in the University Towers, while the Merrill Palmer Institute is in the NAMP building. We believe it would be in Wayne State's best interest to renovate the building next to the Maccabees building. Renovating this building will not only save expenses of trying to build a new building, but however, if the building is too old and not able to bring it to code, we do ultimately believe it would be better to build a new building. Our second evaluation was to add a child care fee to the students' tuition. As students, we have to pay a fee for our tuition for the gym. Even students who do not use the gym still have to pay the fee. It was suggested to us in one of our surveys to include a child care fee for our daycare center. This would help the university with costs. In the long run, we believe this will be a great service to bring Wayne State, not only for the members, but for the university as a whole. Our third evaluation was using students in a work study. Currently, the preschools on campus are understaffed. This makes it difficult to accept more children to the program. This is where we are going to solve the solution for our third criteria, reasonable demand for faculty. We suggest a work study program for students at the Child Care Center. This would be a great way for students to gain experience in caring for and teaching children. The work study program can give many benefits to students, ranging from credits toward a degree, but also a source of income to help pay for the cost of living and schooling. Our third evaluation would be a functional daycare facility that accepts children for as little as 2 to 4 hours a day or 2 days a week. Every student, staff, and faculty member have different schedules. A daycare with flexible hours would be something that would work with the hectic lives of every parent on campus. One of our survey questions asked if students had missed class due to lack of childcare. 82% of those surveyed answered yes. With a functional daycare with flexible hours, we will cut down on the amount of class that parents miss. We would want this program to benefit multiple people, so we suggest the daycare being used as minimum as 2 hours a day and 2 days a week. These hours would not only help those who need regularly care of the daycare, but also those who need last-minute care. Now on to Adora for the conclusion.
Thank you, Chantel. So our group is proposing to add drop-in daycare on Wayne State University campus. We have conducted 2 interviews and distributed surveys that show that there is a definite need. The University of Michigan has 3 established programs, which are flourishing. Eastern Michigan University is actually in the same boat as Wayne State because they are also trying to implement childcare on their campus. To help start a childcare center, we recommend renovating an existing building or building a new one if that is not feasible. Adding a childcare fee to tuition, like the gym fee, starting a work-study program through the College of Education, and starting with 1 semester as a trial run to work at any issues that may arise. Thank you for your time and consideration. Any questions?